So despite having some troubles with this initial release of Procreate Dreams, I wanted to give a full colored animation a shot. So let's just start this off. Here I'm just doing the line work for it, and if we're being honest, regular Procreate app is, and probably for quite a while will be, the better app to just do actual artwork. And this is going to be a really simple animation where it's just like 3 frames, a couple things are moving, and it's in a loop. So yeah, here I'm just speeding through doing the line art for Eris. She's from my comic No Name Star. And this animation goes out to my buddy Prox, who prompted it. And so now I just took my line art, and you can just drag it into from Procreate into Procreate Dreams. You can just drag the layer, actually. You don't even have to drag the whole artwork, so that's nice. And so after dragging the line work in, I set my onion skins, and then I am going to get some frames ready, which is a little bit tricky with how the flipbook goes. And I'm just going to erase the lines that are going to be animated, so that's just going to be her hair and her vest. And you might actually see here I forgot to do the hair down at the bottom left, but I'll remember later on. And one thing that I unfortunately did that I did not notice at first is when you're like pinching and zooming with your left hand, I accidentally just barely lowered the opacity on the eraser. So when I went and erased all those lines, I left a little bit, and I did some cleanup, and hopefully you can't see it in the end product. But anyways, so the tracks and the frames working together, it's a little bit difficult to grasp at first, but eventually it's actually a really clean way to go about all this. And so I got the hang of that, and now it's time to color. The unfortunate thing is that you can't seem to reference layers. So if I want to reference the line art layer, make a different layer, and just color drop into there, paint bucket kind of thing, you can't do it. At least not yet. And you can't even make layers and move them so that way you can like color underneath your line art layer. So we're just missing a lot in Procreate Dreams right now when it comes to the actual art side. Animation's different story, but if you're doing the art side of things, it's better to just do it in Procreate, which is what I just did here. So I did the coloring in Procreate, and now I'm just going to take that Procreate coloring, drag it into Procreate Dreams, which works very seamlessly. It's nice. Reset the timing of that because it defaulted to like 30 seconds. And I'm going to take my other coloring layers for the hair and for the vest, which are the colorings that actually move, and put those on separate tracks. And that actually worked really well. And as you can see, so I only did that for 1 frame. So for the frames that are moving, I had to go in and recolor them myself the old-fashioned way, which was a little bit of a pain and kind of disappointing, but it didn't actually take that long. It's not a big deal. So here I'm coloring her hair. I colored the vest outside the video. Now it's time to shade the hair. And what I found was that you can use clipping masks on tracks, which worked really well because the hair was colored on a separate track, and then I could clipping mask to do basically what would be like an alpha lock. And that turned out working just fine. It was not a pain at all. So good trick to know, clipping mask track to track. And then so I finished the animation, but the problem was that I need to just go in and duplicate things one by one to get it the length that I want to be. But did that slow and steady. And here I wanted to practice using the perform mode on this little cloud dude called Cirrus. And the perform mode, as you probably know, means that you can move the character around and have it record your movements. So after a couple tries, it wasn't too difficult. As long as you have one big grouping, you can just move them yourself, animate it. And last but not least, then I decided to try to use keyframes to do the clouds in the background here. If only I could have had an easier way to duplicate all my frames, so that way this whole animation could be longer. But here's the final piece. I have keyframes in the background. The cloud lightem Cirrus at the top is perform mode. Eris is frame by frame animation with the vest and hair. I like how it came out, so I hope you do too. Thanks for watching.